starting on?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes. Next page is the day after Christmas. There's a number. Number 24, 25.
26 is day after Christmas.
Oh, the day before.
What number for Mani Khabum?
Mani Khabum?
Yes.
32, chapter 30.
Chapter 32. I just don't remember what page. I'll usually write it down, but I didn't.
Okay, everyone. First, we will the prayer book. Wonderful opportunity to practice. Some people I saw yesterday, day before the Nepal Mani Drupjin, and so many great teachers, hundreds monks, and so again we'll practice this opportunity, and any our practice is benefit ourselves and families, and especially the all people needed. There's some prayer we will keep thinking for them, and such as the Filipinos and many other places, there are a lot of struggles. So hoping getting better to become normal life, and then normal lives better to increase their practice. We not need waiting to bad happen. So when healthy time practice is the best. Something happened, natural the disaster, or maybe something physically, then we will calling Buddhas and Dharmas. I think healthy times the best. So anyway, nice to see you. Page 2, prayer book. Yeah, one's English, Pablo.
All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind.
이동 진구를 지어서 남로의 조수 지워 선지 좀된데 남로의 조수 지워 담배 주의 남로의 조수 지워 법이여긴드 남로의 조수 지워 보보 간주 주저 소매소 이시그 전던 등보남 교수지오 준전도와도 주보로 주베 번데 로모 동보남로 교수지 이담 진고를 지러서 남로 교수지오 산지 전된데 남로 교수지오 담배주 남로의 조수주 법의견도 남로의 조수주 법의견도 주전성매소 이시교 전돈 등보 남로의 조수주
We take refuge in the kind root and lineage lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom.
Solon de Josu Chedara Munji de Janjo Done de Bada Janjo Sambe Alabala Tedarim Sheneba Tijin Dolo Pendun do Janjo Samne Jinji Shin de Shin Tune Alabal Rimbo Shindo Labora
Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path.
Sanjaya Chudo Soji Janamlo Janju Bardo Dani Josuji Dage Janso Jiva Sonam Rola Benjere Sanjaya Nduwa Sho Sanjaya Chudo Soji Janam Janju Bardo Dani Josuji Dage Janso Jiva Sonam
In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
Niring chadai nidang jawa danyam
May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Page 16.
Unequaled refuge, ornament of the world. Your fame pervades the 3,000 worlds. You are the victor, Vajradhara, without a doubt. I bow at the feet of the Father, Jigtan Sumgun. Continually, I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, grant your blessings. Dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I realize the unelaborated nature of mind. Good morning again. How fortunate we are lesson the Dharma, developing love and compassion. And there are so many beings, they want to become happy and healthy. Unfortunately, they don't know how to real creating and those the seed of the enjoyment. There's needed to developing the virtues and compassion, so forth. So we have to practice every day, even though we are not perfect, but we always say everyday practice is the everyday like meal. Everyday meal you can survive life. Once life do you get very fancy food, it's good, but it cannot help a whole life. But daily food can make you strong because they you eat every day. Likewise, the daily practice, especially the Samani Khabum is very unique to understand things more clear. The Avalokita Shora manifestation, King Sonzan Gambu explains it so basically family members, individuals, groups, how to practice to best. So this we talked the past many months and also a couple of years, something this big tech is so big. So now we'll continue this practice developing, because once we hear the Buddha's teaching, biography, how to developing, we're also fortunate. There are also Buddhists and Bodhisattvas will take this path. So also you need to fortunate, have great this opportunity to take the same path in Buddhists and Bodhisattva. So even though we're not coming in Latin shortly, but the better handle in the family situations, because we hear always love and compassion all the time. And we need to recognize when is used and where used. So under rough conditions, some family issues or jobs and whatever, you have some health and so forth. So you need to know this is practice alone, now I need use. So I continue first, better to you give what is going on or roughly information for the English translator. And then I will give the transmission and some, try to some explanations from there.
So I have that we left off in chapter 32, 2 pages in where it says second general topic, emptiness. Within emptiness are 3 sections. 1, the example, space. 2, the meaning, the nature of dharmas. 3, the sign, the nature of mind. Since by compassion alone, the benefit of beings will not be established, having meditated on compassion as the benefit for others, we must realize emptiness as the benefit for oneself. First, within that, the sky is presented as the example of emptiness. In space, no center or edge is established, no parts and forms are established, and no shape and color are established. It exists as pure emptiness. Second, as for the meaning, the nature of dharmas, Sugata Garbha, the meaning of the nature of dharmas pervades all beings. This emptiness, the nature of dharmas, from the first is nothing from which anything could arise. It has no place for it to arise. Like space, with no establishment of center or edge, it is empty. In the middle, nothing is produced from it. Like space, it has no establishment of parts and forms. At the end, there is nowhere for it to go. Like space, it is without establishment of forms, colors, things, and characteristics. It does not exist as the essence of anything at all. That is called the nature of dharmas, the absolute in emptiness. Third, the sign, the nature of mind, from that state which is unobstructed emptiness, by being empty does not go into eternalism. By being luminous, it does not go into nihilism. Non-dual emptiness, luminosity, is free from obscurations and coverings. That is called the sign, the nature of mind. From that,
Sweetie.
by its unobstructed power, subtle and coarse discursive thoughts continually arise. Through these discursive thoughts and the 5 poisons arise, they arise from the empty nature of dharmas. Though they dissolve into the empty nature of dharmas. The essence or root of discursive thoughts in the 5 poisons is empty. From that state of emptiness, these thoughts arise in self-arising. Having gone into the state of emptiness as their own reality, since discursive thoughts arise, they do not go into nihilism. Since they are liberated as they are, they do not go into eternalism. Transcending the extremes of eternalism and nihilism, the equal impartial meaning of the nature of dharmas, the meaning of realizing emptiness, the intention of self-arising and self-liberation is realized. Third general topic, union of emptiness and compassion. Within the inseparable reality of emptiness and compassion are 3 sections. 1, emptiness and compassion are of non-dual essence, like gold and yellow. Emptiness and compassion are inseparable in nature, like a conch and white. 3, emptiness and compassion are inseparable in defining characteristics, like water and wetness. First, emptiness and compassion are of non-dual essence, like gold and yellow. The meaning of emptiness is not like things that are established by being substituted for something else. For example, as gold primordially has yellowness, it is empty primordially from the beginning. Since the color of gold is primordially yellow, it is not transformed or created. So emptiness and compassion are inseparable in essence. Second, emptiness and compassion are inseparable in nature, like a conch and its whiteness. Emptiness and compassion exist in inseparable equality. As a conch and the white color of the conch exist in equality, emptiness is not good and compassion is not bad. Buddhas are not good and sentient beings are not bad. Samsara is not bad and nirvana is not good. Appearances are not bad and emptiness is not good. Emptiness and compassion have no accepting and rejecting. By realizing that one's own mind is empty, there is no hope of Buddhahood. By knowing samsara as mind, the realms of the 6 kinds of beings are hindered. Third, emptiness and compassion are inseparable in defining characteristics, like water and wetness. The nature or defining characteristic of water is moisture or wetness. Though now the nature of mind may be realized to be empty, other conditions in addition to that are not eliminated. Though the play of the nature of dharmas is enjoyed, conditioned virtue is continuous. Though it is realized that the 6 kinds of beings are self-purified, avoid the ripening of karmic cause and effect. Though it is realized that the birthplace of the 3 realms are non-existent, meditate in inseparable compassion emptiness. Thus, compassion, skillful means, and emptiness, prajna, are inseparable. Upaya and prajna existing in a state of inseparability, that is the union of the view and action of great compassion. That completes the oral instructions of the Dharma protecting King Songtsen Gampo on the especially exalted 3 dharmas sealed oath.
Okay. No, Jedonivo Dongbala Sum de Penanga, Don Junida, Nasamino Sumo, the Ninji Jambe, some Judon, Mendove, Shandon, Ninji Gomna, Rando, Doni Dogo, the La Doni Penangala Shadi, Namgala Tawu, Juba, me, Chori, Tuba, me. If the Hondo Juba me the Dongba, the Neso, Niwa, Ton, Chunin, the Don. Tishing Buchuni, Tong, the Dova, Ting, Dova Gula, Chabdi, Chuni, Dongbani, Tangbundine, Chung Jangway, Churungsa, Meva, the Nanga, Dar, Taus, Juba, Medo, Dongbandine, Java, Mede, Nanga, Dar, Cho, Dang, Reso, Juba, Me, Tamander, Dova, Java, Mede, Nanga, the Suda, Kadong, the Summer, Juba, over young, Mojuba, Neso. Tuni Juni Dong, Juni Dong, Dombo Dombo, Ni, Javo, Sumbota, Semni, Domba, Ni, Yingale, Dongla Mangava Jin, Dobe, Dongbe, Dabarama Son, Cheve, several Mason, Dongse, Nimi, Dubio, the Teva, Tini, Da Semni, Chavo, Telaze, Mangaba, Nomdo Tara, Junjam, or Chade. Namdo Tunga Kari Jijanshi Chuni Dongba Niligi, Timyan Chuni Dongba Nila Tim, Tunga the Namdo Yung, Zawa Zawa Dongba Yin, Dongbang Rangshara Duji, Dongbang Rangus, Sone. Namdo Jive, Jevara Maso, Rangsar Jubi, Takbar Mason, Takje Ji, Talen, the Chuni, Nyamba, Rimi Ji, Tong, Dongni, Dogwe, Tong. Rangshar Randu Jigumba, Jido Sumba Domba, the Indi Yerme, Tonga Sumo, Domba Ninji Yemi, Ser the Serda, Ser the Serva de Wo. Domba, Dani, Jarashi, Yerme, the Tungdang, Garbo de Wo, Domba the Indi, Tsini, Yerme, Chudalen, the Wo, the Domba, the Ninjum, Nimi, Seradang, Servo, Dongi, Tong, Teda, Tong, Dawo. Mayin Benasere de Yene Servo Yuvadar Yaduma Tongba Yudo Sadi Kando Yene Serve Jurom Juba Mayin Badar Tongba Ninjilong Yerme de Niba Ninji Dang Dongba Rangi Yerme de Tongdang Garbo Dawone Tongba Ninji Ni Yerme Nyabani do Neso Tongda Garbo La Tonga Kando Yang Garbo Nyambara Nevaradar Tongba de Mesala Ninji de Minge Sanje Mizang la Simjin Minga Kurwa de Minga la Nyangde de Mizang Nawa de Minga la Tongba de Misa Tongba de Inji la Pangla Me Brang Tonga Togwe Sanje la Rewa Me Kurwa Simsu Shibe Rikdugu Ne Ta Ne Gak sumba dongbada ningji tsini dang yerme sum yerme wa chuda len dawuni chu rangshin nam tsini len nam sherba yin tadar simni dongba dojang shendo do simje la ningji len dawu gyu me je korwa simzu shi jam me da go gyu la gum chodam je simzu shi jam dangwa lama jibur gurur thunga namdo rangdo de shi nyu mungbe gen karar me do chuni ju rubale longju jang duje je gewa gyu me je ru rangda do jang le junde jinami la zem kamsum gene me barado ningji dongba yereme wa gum tedar ningji tabu dongba sherab ningji do dongba yereme wa tabu sherab yerme wa ngala ne wa tuju jimbo taju songdo dewa taju songdo juba yino chujime jewa songza gamba shedam yangsa kebardo pagwe chu sumzo so Oh, now they continue here. Now the chapter section 2 or second. Talking here is the three way to explain for emptiness. There are three examples and the meaning and also in the sign. And the example is like space, and the meaning is dharma dadu. And then also the sign, the nature of the mind, the three categories. And also the only compassion without those other two categories, this cannot benefit. So that is where must develop into thinking and the sentient beings. And that is cultivating in the bodhicitta, and then in the appearance and benefit ourselves to recognize the emptiness. So then the emptiness as bodhicitta or compassion and unseparable, this benefit others and benefit self. So now here first the example in emptiness, like the space. The space, there are no beginning, no end, no directions, the boundless. Likewise, also they don't have size or shapes and colors, because this unchangeable, the nature of the emptiness. So second is the meaning of the Dharma. The Tibetans say, the seed of the enlightened mind is to all sentient beings there. It's not individuals, Buddha nature is getting better, or some maybe individuals, Buddha nature is worse, not like that. So same ego from Buddha to insect. The equality is a nature part is the same. And also the Dharma Dadu way, and right at the beginning of the nature of the emptiness within us. At the right at the beginning, that is where, as they say, oh, this come from here, so they don't have the directions. Example is like same space at the boundary, and also they don't have say now emptiness is here, the direction and come here and end here. They don't have. Likewise, the space, the beyond our judgmental, because the boundless, we always say, and the beyond the colors and size, because this is not independently existent. And somewhere, we will say in some things in front of you, maybe it's a big tree or big or rock or mountain or house. So this you can measure how tall, how wide, which color, outside, inside, and so forth. So this, we cannot measure the space as same as our mind cannot measure, but mind is everywhere like space. Okay. Now, in the meaning, Dharma Dhatu something just like that way. Now, as the third is the sign of the sign of the natural mind. The sign is even though emptiness, but they are non-stop to appearance and all kinds. Just we always say the nature of the mind like space, and awareness is arising like galaxies or each stars. Each stars, there are countless beings. Likewise, our thought it cannot stop because the realization is continually. Because your natural emptiness allowed this kind to continue arising. If you are one independently, whatever only one, there's only one, they cannot change anything. So the beauty part of the natural mind always appearance and non-stop, because there are what you call unlimited space in the natural mind. And this the nature of the emptiness can help not stuck in this is permanent, this is impermanent. And this is nihilism, those the demo mind. So this is the Tongva. This helps to nature emptiness helps to break the permanent thinkings. And the clarity helps, not nothingness. So the clarity and emptiness in the non-duality, unseparable, this is a sign of the mind. At the power of realization, just I said, some different kind of subtle or light radiating energies come in the mind. Even though sometimes coming the very powerful afflictive emotions. And this also arising the same seed, the seed of the nature of Dharma Dhatu, pure emptiness. But dissolve also same as the nature of emptiness state. And because the five poison at the root is the emptiness, nothing independently again, nothing existed. If there is anger existent, you cannot change anything because it's the permanent and existent. So arising in the nature of the emptiness and also dissolve of the liberate or arising in the nature state, and then the dissolve to the, remember we always hear say rangshar or rangtul, sub-rising and sub-liberate. So they continue arising. This is the helps to say that's it, there's no more end to arising. So there's the continuing there. A moment the sub-liberate, this helps, nothing in the permanent way. And this beyond the permanent or impermanent, this helps to equality Dharma Dhatu, Nyambani. So there's the reaching in the nature and the equality of Dharma Dhatu. There's also arising and sub-rising and sub-liberate through the experience. So now there's the third. And also the three ways to explain the emptiness, compassion, and how they are work so inseparable way. For example, the emptiness and the compassion is like gold. The nature of the gold is inseparable at the yellow. Yellow is not gold, but gold and yellow is inseparable. If you can say all yellow is gold, then they become in the problems, you know, the fabric yellows and flower yellow and so on and so forth. But this case talking the gold color is unchangeable, unseparable. Likewise, the emptiness and compassion is unseparable, like counsel and white. White and counsel is unseparable. Likewise, here, and there are many examples, people hear many examples, then they understand one of the examples can stay in our minds. Now here is the emptiness and compassion unseparable. It's like water and wet, the unseparable. Likewise here, again, repeat the emptiness and compassion, the nature of the Dharma Dadu, or Surva Bhivikaya, or the Dharma Dadu reaching, then again, they're like gold and yellow. So there's the nature or the meaning, giving the meaning, these examples. So now the Buddha's teachings introduce, you have the Buddha nature, you have the capacity to liberate all the difficulties, not permanent. Your butterfly mind also not permanent. But every momentary is changing. But the good news is the nature of your mind is no different than the holy beings, such as Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. We said earlier, so this is the example, is the Buddha nature is all sentient beings. The example here gives many, remember, the gold and yellow is inseparable. For example, your gold may be under the maybe something, maybe muddy place, and temporarily you cannot see as a yellow, as a gold, the pure gold. You need a polish. Then you can see more polish, more developed, and they see yellow is coming to more clear. But yellow is not add to the gold. But gold's nature is a yellow, is unseparable. Our afflictive emotion, temporary, and we cannot see as a Buddha, we call the sentient beings or ordinary beings. When you teachers introduce, see, this is your nature, you can keep clean, and your nature is like gold. They are radiating yellow light. And they say here, the gold, the colorful light, the yellow light, is right at the beginning within each of us. This is the purity, is the emptiness, as well as the compassion is unseparable. The nature of the mind is pure emptiness, and the compassion is unseparable. Second, again, the compassion and emptiness is naturally unseparable. The repeat example, the example is a counsel in white. And emptiness and compassion is unseparable because equally same. It was a counsel. As soon as you hear the counsel, nobody thinking the black counsel or yellow or red or blue or magenta or avocado color, or and so on and so forth. Only counsel means, oh, it's white. The gold, people say gold, The first they're thinking in the color and then price and the rare and expensive and so forth. So that in the ordinary people's mind, those colors and values right at the beginning we can experience our life. So this is called unseparable. Gold and value is unseparable. Likewise, the gold and the color is unseparable. And Bodhisattva's ordinary being is unseparable. The Bodhisattvas already polished beings. For us, unpolished beings. But we polish, we also become in the shine like the gold. So the white color and counsel is also not made or add as a nature, always within counsel. That's it. Now here is the Tongpa de Mesa Ningji de Mengens, and they're thinking which one is better, or they don't emptiness is better. It's not emptiness is nothing better. Compassion is nothing worse or less power, because the same equality. And Buddha is nothing higher or better. Buddha is not better. Sentient being is not worse. We're talking about the nature, right at the beginning is no different. Of course. And then a little while you're different, even though you will say horse race, there are people who try to keep food and training, everything. Maybe beginning is the same. And then maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes, then they're different. So likewise, the Buddha and the Bodhisattvas and ordinaries, they're kind of different. The Bodhisattvas effortless continue to liberate. No matter any challenge, they will always be there. So now here, so that's kind of we recognize the unseparable, the pure emptiness and the compassion. Then you not need to hope to become Buddhahood, or you not need doubt to rebirth in lower realm, because you already set, because you're now unseparable, the highest reach, such as like Bodhisattva or Bhumi's activity, Third, and again, the pure emptiness and compassion is unseparable, because like water and wetness, wet. The nature of the water is like mush, right? And this is the unseparable with the water. Likewise, our nature of the mind, or recognize is the emptiness. And when you recognize emptiness, your mind become bigger space to allow to helping others. If you're thinking one, and then you can do only one thing, that's all. You make the space to become emptiness, allow to practice yidam deities, many teachings, and many aspiration prayers. And otherwise, we're thinking, I don't have power to liberate all sentient beings. Look, my life situation, how I can think. If you make 100 times smaller in size, because you didn't recognize you have the nature of the mind, same as a Buddha. And if we recognize the nature of the mind, the emptiness, and then the compassion is like the steam, water, non-stop to benefit, continue with the sentient beings. And also say here, And the samsara is depend our mind. If you recognize mind, then you not need anything. It's not like that. Even though you recognize the samsara is the mind, and still we need to think for the impermanent. The impermanent is the best way increase any our practice, such as compassion, etc. Even though you recognize all the Dharma is your own mind, but still your teacher is not unseparable because they introduce for you nature of mind. That's why always thinking he or she is head of your whole into your head, right? What did they say?
Yeah, he or she, yeah.
Okay.
Top of your head, yeah.
Okay. And the 5 poison is your thoughts liberate. Still, the afflicted mind is always caution, like what you call black eyes, right? We have black eyes this road, right? Yes. Any your activities is the Dharma Dhatu stage, any activities, still the virtue is non-stop to develop continually. And you recognize the 6 realms are at the beginning and the purity, but still cause and conditions, always we be careful. The cause and conditions and comes the time and the ripening for us. And the 3 universe is the unborn Dharma Dhatu stage, even though you realize, still continue love in the compassion or compassion in the emptiness, always need to practice. So the other, so this is the compassion is the method. Emptiness is a wisdom. The wisdom and emptiness unseparable. Then you practice the compassion. You view, you meditate, your action is unseparable. So that's the King Songtsen Gampo, with the teaching of the 3, the secret auspicious 3 categories. Okay.
So now starting on chapter 33, oral instructions on the 6 Bardos. Om Mani Padme Hum. I prostrate to great compassion. From the 6 instructions of the emanated king on the 6 Bardos, 1, the naturally existing Bardo, like a mother losing a child from her lap. 2, the Bardo of birth and death, like a baby vulture nourished by its mother. 3, the Bardo of earlier and later knowledge, like lifting a lamp in a dark pit. 4, the Bardo of dream is like attainment of being a support of complete familiarity in a person of bad character. 5, the Bardo of the time of death is like a nephew going to the place of a kind paternal aunt. 6, the Bardo of existence is like connecting a broken water pipe. First, there is the naturally existing Bardo, like a mother losing a child from her lap. As for the connection of a good mother and a good child, In general, the best dharma of great compassion is enlightenment by realizing the fundamental natural state. The intermediate is, at the time of death, recognizing what is meant by the nature of dharmas, and so becoming enlightened without the Bardo. The lesser is, after recognizing the Bardo, becoming enlightened. As for what is called the naturally existing Bardo, for whoever right at the beginning, there is the uncreated fundamental natural state, the ground of both Buddhas and sentient beings, realization does not arise as a Buddha. Confusion does not arise as a sentient being. By existing in unbiased equality, there is what is called the Bardo. The great pervasion of the natural state is the ground producing both Buddhas and sentient beings. It pervades from Buddhahood above down to the hell realm below. Well, how can Buddhas and sentient beings, these two, arise? Within the mother, the great all-pervading, by its unobstructed power, the child, the fragments of awareness are cut off. Then, by not realizing the empty, luminous, and all-pervading ground of the natural state, by the arising of the child, the fragments of awareness, co-emergent ignorance, the child does not know the mother, the natural state. It is like a prince wandering in a plain. The son whom the king and queen have, by having gone into a show of samsaric activities, wanders among the distractions of the marketplace, because he does not know his own parents. In suffering, eats the food of a beggar. He wears the clothes of a beggar. He sleeps between houses, experiencing immeasurable sufferings. Like the example from the mother, the great all-encompassing, the child, the fragments of awareness, co-emergent ignorance does not know its mother, the great all-encompassing unbiased equality. After wandering in samsara like a prince wandering on a plain, it abandons its body. That is the arising of the ignorance of false conceptions. As the prince eats beggar's food and wears beggar's clothes, by accepting a body, the 6 collections of the senses arise. By that there is experience of the 6 kinds of objects. For beautiful and ugly forms as objects of the eye, attraction and repulsion arise. For pleasant and unpleasant sounds as the objects of the ear, attraction and repulsion arise. For pleasant and unpleasant smells as the objects of the nose, attraction and repulsion arise. For delicious and repulsive tastes as objects of the tongue, attraction and repulsion arise. For harsh and caressing touchables as objects of the body, attraction and repulsion arise. For delightful and non-delightful dharmas as objects of the mind, attraction and repulsion arise. By these 6 attractions and repulsions, the 6 kleshas arise. Therefore, the ignorance of karmic cause and effect arises. By the prince sleeping between houses, various sufferings are experienced. Just so, collecting aggression and negative actions, we are born in hell and experience sufferings of hot and cold. By avarice and negative actions, we are born as hungry ghosts and experience sufferings of hunger and thirst. By ignorance and negative actions, we are born as animals and experience sufferings of being killed and exploited. By passion and positive actions, we are born as human beings and experience sufferings of change. By anger and positive actions, we are born as asuras and experience sufferings of conflict. By pride and positive actions, we are born as gods and experience sufferings of transmigration and falling back. Such is the root of wandering in samsara. Because the child, the fragments of awareness, does not recognize the mother, the great all-encompassing, the natural state, that wandering is received.
Okay, you can stay there. There are a lot of information. So we'll try to. 지보도 지오르 지조동소 모네 변명 홍도 지진 보로서 수를 지비 지고 송네 감부 바르도 조기 셰동 조레랑 신네베 바르도 라마방네 부 마이방네 마방네 부시와 다우 지시 바르도라고 정매어 그도 시봉어지 바르도라 먹고도 메드고도 메는지 바르도라 공 발라 등바도 바도 지게 바도라 아니 자매네서 저번도 스베 바도라 유간 제와라 와도와도 당보라 신네베 바도라 마바부쇼로 와도우데 마디푸데 자르와네 치르도지 짐부초데라 랑신은 우도바라상게 딩 치거 추니 우세 누심베 바라도메 바라상자 상자 도모 바르도 스나 상제 바진나 텔라랑 신네베 바르도 차와 강라스나 당보곤나 신네로 마저바데 상제단 심진이게 시인베 상제데 상제수 시인베 또데 상제수 양 마중 그데 심제도 양 마중 냐바르메도 네발라 파도시 자고 탑데 침보네로 대 상계 등 심진이가 지베시 임베 양산계네 마르냐와 인절라 개와 유노 원어 상계의 심진이 시도주나 늘 접대 전부들 제 뭔가와 풀베 둠부 전에 인내로 기시 동서 군라 잡아데마도 베 풀베 둠부 현직이 기베 마르와 중외 부메네로 마시 베제부 탕라 참바시노 기부지도 주무지라 부지 유발레 기분 준제 데몰라 송웨 잉싱 촌지선도 좀네 랑게 파말라서 보마신베 등에베 당고수 세수 괴존여가 상와라니 등에 받으면 용어 배태당더와 만나로 저도 좀보 레포르베 둠볼 현지기에 말이 맞아도 좀 본인이 리메도 마셰베 제부 통화 참바르다 코로와 참내루 랑오 달라고도 답고 말이 보충도 제부 세 데세 제부 당세 세 당고 경바들 루 랑베 엄보토르고샤 더 유르로 좀 미기도 속 도무돌라 사다지 나베 유도 다니 메냐라 사다지 나베 유도 티심 실라 사다지 제 유도로 처음으로 사다지 루지 유도르자 점주불라 사다지 이지 유도 추가메갈라 사다지 사다 초기 녀몽바 초기 샤르웨 레 준데르 몽베 마리바 중 제보데 상가르녀보다 나초 녀워르다 셰단다 메게베 레 사베 냐워르지베 사다게 등녀 세나데 메게레 지라 수지 테금지 등녀 테무당 메게베 레 지튼로 제베 세젤링고게 등녀 노자다 기벨레 지미르지 주르베 동해뉴 콘도데 기벨레 제 하마인지 탑도지 등녀 마제데 기벨레 제 하로 포동 등녀 데도고 와점베 자와 puරි베 지우 pu리게 tumuma 마챵데 침보네루 엄마심데 렌노 now just here now the King Sunzen Gambo, especially the teaching here, introduced the sixth Bardo, the sixth intermediate state, and different way to explain. Omman Padme Hum, pay homage to the Avalugdishora. And here the manifestation King Sunzen Gambo, the sixth the intermediate state and Bardo fed instruction. There are six. The first, and the nature of the Bardo or intermediate state is like some child pass away, or maybe the birth or death, or some mother and son or daughter. And the second is the death is and birth and death is also between. Mm. What they say, the second one? And some use the eagle or bird, or what they use?
The Bardo of birth and death is like a baby vulture.
Very
nourished.
virtual, okay, okay. Very virtual, and the mothers, they protect all these two beings. And also the mind is there are two separate, and the early and late. And the light, for example, this light or darkness or light example. And the fourth is the Bardo or intermediate explain, such as the in the dream. In the dream, you recognize this is the dream. Then there's also the between your dream beginning to end awakening. So that's the fourth, fifth Chika Pardulas. And the fifth is like the you can call aunties or uncles going to the niece or nephew's house, right? Sibe Pardul, you can't tell. The sixth is the samsaric Pardo. It's like the used to be waters coming continue in the stream or pipe. Now continue, the broke somewhere, the water is not coming, or maybe continue the water coming in the pipe. Now here, the more a little bit explain. First, the nature of the dharma dhatu, no, the nature of the intermediate state. So the mother is the showing as the nature state, son is the awareness. So now here is the compassion. The practice of the compassion practice, there are three ways to recognize. So here, the best one, Rapshi looks at the ground level, at the path, and the provision or results. There's a grand level as when you introduce, because we have the orally nature of the mind within us. Some good practitioners or the fortunate one, once you introduction and the teaching, right away they understand there's some fortunate one. Some like us, we repeat many times, still nothing understanding. For example, we receive so many teachings, so many empowerment. If empowerment can become Buddhahood, I think many our students are no longer here. We have the highest Lama's empowerment, receive His Holiness Dalai Lama Sakala Chagra, and then His Holiness Sakya, His Holiness Digung, His Holiness and His Holiness. So, our some Christian friend background, they received the popes, and Imam, or the Muslim teacher, Ivan, right? Imam, right?
Imam, yes.
Imam,
Okay.
imams, or maybe priests, or rabbis, We've made so many great teachings. We try all kinds, still we're stuck here. So, so here's the ground level. We have the ground or foundation. So we have the Buddha nature. Remember, we always say the Buddha nature is no different than Buddha. There's we already hear there's so many examples. the gold and the yellow is unseparable. But no polish and they're not coming right away. So likewise, we need the ground level is Buddha nature. But then we need practice developing, and we have to become the Buddhahood. So now here, Ravi Shilun Sangyes. Whatever we have the ground level, same path and the same result is becoming the Buddhahood. And the best one first introduced with a lifetime. Second is the die before. That's we always call ngotu means introduce. Someone now dies soon, then whoever they're helping, guiding, then you need to introduce. Say now your teachers and yidam daddies, your practice put together. You're thinking that way. You don't think used to be you things in house and families, but now you need to think that way. So that's kind of guiding. And then you recognize now because you're becoming dissolution state and the luminosity, and you recognize the moment you don't have the Bardo, go directly and the higher beings and or become Buddhahood. So this the best one is the lifetime. The second is the die before. Now, then the third one is when the person who lamas or maybe sanghas or family member, whoever know how to introduce to say now this is your peaceful journey. You can hear this kind of sound, you can see this kind of image, and those appearance of your own mind, nothing else somewhere independently. You not need to fear this is your shadow. This is a way to you need to recognize. That's also then they recognize, oh, that's my shadow. I don't need any fears. So otherwise, some dogs and cat, sometimes they're afraid their own shadows, even though children. So we're not feared our shadows, but we will fear our own karma. We did something wrong. This is we cannot see right away, but we in the heart let guilty. Oh, I did something by this life or previous life, whatever. That's why I have in here. I need to get out as soon as possible. So that's what Lamas introduced, and that's what called Bardo. That's why here the Bardo to do. Remember the liberation, hearing through liberation text is very important. That's where you helps to journey of the 49 days. So Bardo Musimba, so recognize in the Bardo or intermediate state. Not only recognize, you will become in the Buddhahood. So your practice, they become the Dara practitioner or Avalokiteshvara. When the Bardo stage, those appearance, and you can recognize, remember, and then you're becoming unseparable in Buddha compassion or Avalokiteshvara or Dara. What does it mean is the nature of the Bardo? What does it mean? So here, so right at the beginning or foundation or ground level, it's not met, but it is the Buddha and the sentient beings, both the same ground level. Remember this we talk, same as. And the difference between so the ground level is same, even though Buddha is recognized, it's nothing, Buddha didn't make it better on the ground level, and the same as a gold. And the sentient being and the samsara still at nothing worse, but nature of the gold is a gold. And the natural state is the nyamba, the equality. So that's called nyamba remake never Bardo. So this is also the equality Bardo. stage, the equality, Bardo or intermediate state. And the primordial beginning, and the same as the Buddha and the sentient beings, same. This, the awareness, the nature of the ground level is from Buddha to the hell beings, same. Then the questions, then if the same in the ground level, how they became as two different beings or two different stages, very different. One is called Buddha, the other one is sentient being. How they came two different, one same ground. So there's a problem is the ground level. The ground, the Buddha nature is like the mother. No, ground level in our is like the how you say, like say like the eagle we just heard early. The eagle, the baby chicks, is not ready to fly because it's not yet the power. They cannot survive life themselves. They cannot fly the top of the mountain or tree. So sentient being is same as the baby chick, the eagle. Now, and the baby chick, it depends mother's kindness and then give the nutrition, educated from net to one branch, then come back, then another branch. So likewise here, say, and this the awareness sun is not independently. So like the generally family members say, oh, I need to pick up my kids because now he's going to school, I need to drive, now I need to pick up him from school bus. So now your son or daughters become 25, and even though you want to pick up, they don't want to come near, there's 20, please don't come, please don't call me, this is my privacy time. So, 8 years old, oh, mommy, I need you. And mommy needs the son or daughter. The daughter need mommy and the son. So likewise, then here, Buddha and sentient beings, one is wrapping polish in the gold. Now they see the radiating the light in the golden yellow color. One is people say, oh, this is gold, or this is copper, or this is brush, because they're not clear, the object. So likewise, the difference between sentient being and Buddhahood. The mother was. Because we didn't recognize the pure emptiness, luminosity to boundless all entire universe, that's kind of power to recognize. So the sun of the awareness is the cover of the temporary ignorance. So he didn't recognize the nature of the mother at the ground level. Another example, how happened? So say, so they ask king and queens, right? And So then there those luxury people need to go to fancy place, you know. And then sometime in the market is large, and there are so many people, for example. So then now your awareness, son, lost in the samsara market. So now he has a luxury parents, but he walk too far, and parents enjoyment too fun things the party. So now awareness son is lost. And he usually he has, you know, palace, all luxury things. Now to not awareness, poor son, he is begging food to the beggars because no option. In the cold, he asked to the share in the beggar's clothes. And there's no place to sleep on the street. And the moment he has tremendous suffering. So likewise, this example and a ground level in the Dharma, Dharma Dhatu, we didn't recognize that our own mind is the unseparable of the Dharma Dhatu. This was unseparable. So the sun of the awareness is the unseparable in the ground level. In the ground level, and the essence of the fundamental stage in the natural mind, the same as all the equality. If you didn't recognize, this will become, it's like sort of the lost parents become in the homeless. In one place to one place, homeless people go summer and come to east, the winter go the west or south in the United States, for example, because the cold conditions. Same in samsara is a rebirth in different place to rebirth until you now recognize your birth is endless. And that is called the Kundatawe Maribas. That's the, you know, not to recognize the seed of the ignorance. That's where you will stuck there forever. That's the, as long as you not recognize, and the king is become the beggar, and the king's son is become the beggar. The beggar is the five aggregate, all then stuck in form, sound, smell, taste, etc. And then there's the problems begin. You see the form, you're becoming judgmental. And they're coming in one side. What do you usually say? Attraction, oppression?
Oppression?
Attraction and oppression, something like that. They're like anger or attachment.
Attraction and repulsion.
Yeah, attraction and oppression, right? Likewise, the same in the sound is pleasant and unpleasant. Smell, taste, feeling, all those there attraction and aversion, the six afflictive arising. Those afflictive so powerful cause and conditions continue, then the ignorance. Ignorance, and you unfortunate, the son of the kings like sleep on the street, and then the unnecessary sufferings. And they create by anger. The anger is always non-virtue. There's a result, rebirth in the lower realm. And the heat and cold, all kind suffering. And then the non-virtues and the stinginess, at the seed rebirth at the peltarum or hungry ghosts. And they are thirsty and hunger and suffer. Created by the ignorance, a rebirth in the animal realms. Fear to uncertainly someone can kill. They cannot explain because you are the animal. You know, people will say, oh, this my food. So they are suffer. Based on the attachment, and you will rebirth the human being and the 4 different natural sufferings: birth, death, old, sickness, etc. Based on the anger, you will resolve rebirth in the asura or demigod realm, always fighting, never win, tremendous suffering. Pride, rebirth in the god realm, jealous, never end. That's a result, never happy. Those are the root of the samsara. Those are problems that don't recognize the son as the unseparable at the nature of the mother at the ground level. Okay, that's too deep. Now we will maybe some tea break. Now between the tea or coffee, which one's attachment?
Can I get you some coffee, Lola?
Sure. My marks there, not here. Tea time. Tea time. Okay, everyone enjoy tea time. Facebook people, if you have tea, coffee. Attraction, impression, chakra, Pressure, attention, pressure, all trying to. 저도 걸로 주게 정으로 진행하게 만들어서 오.
Is it still snowing?
Lama,
It's not showing, but the ground there, snow here is a little bit high altitude in Arlington. Once the snow, stay longer, white Christmas. Yes,
Lama,
yes.
is the gap between two thoughts, is that called the Bardo too?
Say again.
I heard once that the gap between two thoughts was called the Bardo.
Yes, always two, then always a Bardo. Morning and now is between, Bardo means between. Between means two, only one if they cannot between divided two. The longest one is samsara to nirvana. Short ones, your house to house. House to on a room to room.
Thank you.
Lama, another question, please.
Yes.
Can the Bardo, I have another question. I just don't know how to formate it, but can the Bardo be thought of as a place of constant becoming but never becomes?
Bardo is two, mentally or physical.
So
Mm.
it always has to be two
Yes.
in the Bardo. Okay, so that's okay.
Tibetan word par means between.
Right.
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 So from this computer and you and me between.
Right, but the place between, that's not you and not me. Is that the place of, you see sometimes in deep meditation, it's like that sparkly place, the state of potential or state of becoming, but never becomes.
Yeah, always two things is a Bardo.
All right, then this is something else. Okay, thank you. So the Bardo has to be a Dharma then, if it's got two things.
Yes. That's what you remember. Samsara to nirvana. Right? Bardo, for example, say first bhumi to second bhumi is a Bardo. First class to second is a Bardo. Bardo means we always say between.
Between.
Yes. Any activities, even breathing is between the first and second is between.
Right, but the state of betweenness, that is neither the one or the other.
So that's called you reach. You reach means where you want to go and you get there, no more left Bardo. That's called no Bardo, no intermediate state.
Say that again. Reach.
You go to your kitchen, coming back in your cushion, you have the between you and the cushion separate, right?
Yeah.
But now you're on the cushion, what are you going to say?
I'm on the cushion.
That's all. So you're not going, I'm going to the cushion. You are on the cushion. This
Right.
is your
That's
situation.
not my question. That's not what
My
I'm
answer-
trying
I know, this is my answer.
Let me think some more. Thank you.
Remember, and you talking maybe a little bit higher, you will say, and who's going, where going, no going, as we always say, it's a nature, it's like the space. Space is there no between,
Right.
but the space pervasive to all over the place, like your mind, no located, but go everywhere. Military will say, I'm not on to attachment anything. Like us, this is my microphone, this is my phone, this is my room, and so forth. Military will say, I didn't own or holding any with attach, but he enjoyment to looks like ownership to the whole universe. Look, we say, okay, I will stay here one night in this cave is very comfortable. Next week, he's go different place. As long as he's still there, he enjoyment there, he's going back other place, he's not carrying attachment this cave.
Right. It took me a while to understand that. I sort of get that. I can't always do it, but I get it. The idea of it.
Oh yeah, the idea is scary. Yeah, me too. But I'm not yet there. It takes time.
I think
It is deep stuff. It is deep stuff. Like I feel like I get it, and then it's like, okay, no, I didn't.
I
get
can't
it.
hang
No, I
on
did
to
get
it.
it.
Oh, yeah.
I know. And then you spend 3 hours thinking about it. You sort of drive yourself nuts, and then you got to sort of leave it, and then you come back to it and spend another 3 hours thinking about it.
Sometimes, drunk people, and they see the doors far away, but their eyes thinking door is very close there. So this is the middle of the nowhere. He's trying to open the door, but he's visible. I can see the faraway doors looks very close. Sometimes touching the door, he still push. He cannot see how close the door. Does it happen? I don't know. Maybe and sometimes when you're drunk, why you not go straight? Because something is not right. This way something's zigzag. So the samsara mind is like drunk person, and he's trying his best. But he don't have much left power as a drunk already. So sometimes injury is even though not injury, and people say, look, looks like drunk person. But now say the early morning or next day, the person is nobody sees the same as yesterday. He is super healthy, he's not yet drunk. He was like who he is. Up till the noon, 4 p.m., and he was different style again. So when he drank, he don't have the power to who he is. What I'm talking the ordinary person. But yogis in yoginess is very total different. They looks a little bit drunk, and then all sound is becoming the water song, familiar, or doha or water song, and all the melodies, each word is goosebumps. Something energy, something's open, it's never your experience the life. So this is the great Gambopa's time. There go 3 yogis and his man disabled. In the monastery, they're not allowed to drink or not allowed the beer and things like that. Those 3 yogis, super enjoyment of some yogi party, they're drunk. And then, just looks like they are zigzag walk. And people say, look, now those who we always respect. Now look, they're drunk and they're failure our moral ethics, and people gossip and things like that. And then they will think, the public place, large place, drunk, and the holding hand each other, and people will say something, and people abandon them, say, okay, now you will need to get out, because the or bad reputation of the monastery's life and the Buddha's teachings. And then they were dancing, they're dancing in the big rock. And you and me walking like a beach, footprint in the sand. So they yogis energy showing we're not drunk like you, we're showing who we are. And they're dancing in the footprint in the full of the rock. And the great Khabum said, oh, someone disbanded our community. Oh, you need must come back. Shomo Yashos Guru, this is a beautiful water song. Khabum said, please, my disciples, please come back. I know who you are, but everybody cannot see what I see, or what I saw you guys, or what I see you, but nobody recognize who you are. That's why I always say, remember, undercover Buddhas, you never know. Undercover Buddhas, others, you never know. So the ordinary people see this is, crazy, homeless, and the yogis in realization see this is for looking, waiting for so long. But then they came back. This is very fascinating. So this way we're talking, you never know, something visible. So this is the Bartos. Sometimes you looks like you see, something you didn't see. So Bardo is like always between, When you reach there, they're no longer there.
Yeah. That you said something that reminded me, you might enjoy this. It's a saying I heard decades ago that just stuck with me. And I don't remember some famous person, but it said, those who danced were considered quite insane by those who could not hear the music.
That's why I think similar people said, the best you silent and you can hear every sound is so beautiful. When you sing something song or something, you block all the natural sound, you can only hear, ourselves. So this way the silent is the best communicate nature. All the being to being element, every sound is coming clear. The silent means nothingness. The silent means you need to relax in your body, relax your mind, allow the information to come to you. You not to projection to say, oh, I want this, I don't want this. Not need. Remember, mind is like space to need to fully open whatever comes and whatever hears. So once you meditate every morning, sometimes you never hear, sometimes you feel, because now this opportunity you're giving your mind nature state, and you can see nature, see how beautiful. Your mind is set up the nature, and you're hearing all the nature part. And you will go studio, it's no longer nature, all chunky, yangi sounds are there. So this way our mind, all those projection, they're no longer nature. This will the samadhi, meditate is the all accomplishment, the nature things. Not need any attachment, because the nature is always there. Because when you have the tension, open space, and you can hear, you can feel, and you're not tension, you cannot feel anything.
Yeah.
So this is not the nature problem. This is our own problem, This again between self and the nature. See, gold and light. Nature is inseparable, always there. All sound is always there. Why I didn't hear this so long? For example, we have the window, right? And doors. Sometimes the double windows, doors locked, and you cannot hear any natural sound. You think it's a beautiful place to lock up, and you go out. Wow, it's so nice. Who said you can lock everything? We did, the human beings did everything natural locked, then cannot hear. Similar like the natural mind, the open space is like, the nature resource place or park. You can walk, you can see so beautiful trees and flowers and shapes and colors and size. In the same time, you can hear all different species sound. You can feel the wind and many things. This is not once in a while. They're always there. The only our problem is we didn't get outside. We locked. That's all. So outside people enjoyment. I'm not saying you need to go miles and 3 miles. Just need to get out once a while outside. Again, nature is now, I'm not saying always outside, but communicate, you never know, always something. The doctor said, sometimes you stay too long inside. The circulation air is not clean. So you need to open the window or go out. Same as meditate. There's so many methods. Sometimes you're chanting, sometimes you need silent, some you need to concentrate, sometimes you need with the object, sometimes with the objectless. All try many different options. Then sometimes some connections for your practice, and then just bloomings there. Nature you can see, hear, and then you have the between Bardo or not Bardo. You are the becoming there. Then you go unseparable. There are no space. Everything's becoming oneness.
Thank you, Lama.
All right. Okay. So that's a little bit heavy today. It's great.
Just a little.
So later, just a little push gas. What do you call it, right? In the car? Push the gas? What do you call it?
Yeah, press the gas, yep.
So what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it was heavy is good sometimes.
Sometimes good, not always.
Yeah, you gotta keep it light sometimes too.
Oh, okay. Because?
You can only digest so much heaviness.
Oh,
You get overwhelmed.
well,
Or you could start doing next year that Bardo retreat, so you can
yeah.
give us this a little bit even more digested, right?
Then we can see that we have between or no between. So that's the Mingyur Rinpoche, most very famous now, and he's one of the youngest Tibetan lamas, good experience. He always say, an easy way. In Tibetan, they're called momo. You remember dumpling? If you will say, you meditate, don't think dumpling. And then people thinking it's dumpling, so you would think someone say, here, don't think maybe the delicious coffee. And say early morning, don't think coffee. It's almost impossible, So this his instruction say, same as this habit. If you have something habit, you want something. This one transform to the good. And you early morning, you offering the water offerings and flowers, incense change every morning. As soon as you want to the coffee, and you remember the offering the important for the shrine room. Sometimes, I want to go quick, but I need, I don't have any time, but I have time to cook myself in coffee, But you don't have offering to the Buddha, no time, but you have time, make coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense? Yeah. So this the Yonggi Mingyur Rinpoche said, so this means, and you're taught something you cannot get out because you're stuck there. You're not taught momo means you're taught momos, what it looks like, how many tastes, this and that kind. So see, and you're just release or freedom mind, even though momo is still there, you not need any focus. So remember, if you go to the buffet, you not need any inspect to the before, but you think there are a lot of food. That's good enough. And when you get there, you think, oh, I like this, I like this. Each time you will bring in the plate and go in your table. So you're not thinking whole, the big parts you will want to carry into your mind. It's too much. So that's why I see satisfied means whatever you have, and you just good satisfied and rejoicing because you have this kind of opportunity today. So likewise, this all Dharma is great. But see, the money Khabum is so, directly point like individuals' daily life. And so now we have so many different chapters, so many categories. But of course, only one problem is my communicate in the English part. But otherwise, this teaching is so deep. And what are you going to say? So delicious, Whoever, we just talking, whoever digestion is delicious. If we deliver part is maybe, is food is good. But, some people drive very fast, maybe then get food is warm. If somebody 3 miles or maybe cold bring the pizza and you get there, pizza's already frozen. It's not really tasted, no longer there. So my delivers looks like the pizza deliver guide walking in the snow, takes time carrying in the cold, not communicate their language, holding here, stuck there, thinking there, didn't get there.
Hopefully some of it muddles through and, we always heat it up later to go over it again.
Yes, don't heat overwhelming, otherwise burn, All right, I think we're going to stop here and pray for world peace. Share the text. It's good. You think? No?
Yes.
Okay. Today I need to go also Arlington.
Lama, I have a question.
Okay.
The part about the mother and the child falling off her lap, that's about dependent origination, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, that's all.
Yes. Arma Jagwe Mejo Dayam Salwe Jador Najo Jumbo Sase Sarasuma Loni Majoso Charjo Menuma Zamle Sadon Sayu Menjo Jushi Jiwa Don Jewara Denla Zewe Thomas Zamling Chundere Nuzer Redo Nudo Shisha Zane Anjum Jurat Mida me rowa dai gyuloi chanju simjo rembo ngage jene nuze samzo ru penzo jambo samdo danger jamlin dawu de je beje jo sanje damba darshin yune sasume jowa seje dembe do konde geve molam ganje The
three jewels and three roots, trustworthy sources of refuge, and in particular, the Lord of the land of snow, Avalokiteshvara, Jetsuntara, and Guru Padmasambhava. I supplicate you, please follow your previous pledges. Bestow blessings that this aspiration prayer may be fulfilled most perfectly. Due to the degeneration of times, when thoughts and deeds of beings are perverted, and the inner and outer elements have lost their balance, people and cattle are seized by epidemic disease, previously unheard of, intruding Rahus, Nagas, powerful demons, and dark forces, blight, frost, and hail, bad harvest, warfare, and so forth, erratic rainfall, heat, misery, and drought in the world, destruction by the elements such as earthquakes and the threat of fire, and in particular, barbaric offenses causing harm to the teachings are rampant. May all types of harm and injury around the world be swiftly pacified and overcome. May precious and supreme bodhicitta spontaneously arise in the mind streams of all beings, human and non-human, and may they be free from destructive thoughts and deeds. May all be endowed with a loving mind for one another, and may well-being, glory, and prosperity prevail throughout the world. May the Buddha's teachings spread far and wide and everlast. By the truthful power of the three roots, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, by any root of virtue existing in samsara and nirvana, by the power of our perfectly pure highest intention, may the fruition of our supplication and aspiration be attained.
Okay, long life in dedication. English.
For this realm, encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of every benefit and bliss without exception. Tenzin Gyatso, you are one with Avalokiteshvara. May you remain steadfast until samsara's end. Embodiment of the three precious jewels, Padmapani, who holds the teachings of the victorious one, seeing the all-goodness meaning with the wisdom eye, may you who are spontaneously established activities live long for hundreds of kalpas. Noble Manjushri, Lord of Speech, who manifests to hold the teachings of the triple gem, who raises the lamp of the sage's teachings, may you who are the light of the Dharma live long for hundreds of kalpas. The sage's rare and supreme teachings, restored and maintained by the courageous one, propagating the conqueror's teachings of scripture and realization, fastly blooming your brilliant lotus mind, may you live long. Dorje Chang, Tilopa Naropa, Marpa Milarepa, Dharma Lord Gampopa, Pagmodrupa, and Lord Rikungpa, please bestow upon us the most auspicious blessings of all the Kagyu Lamas. By this virtue, may I achieve omniscience. By defeating all enemies, confusion, may all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is born, may it arise. Where it is unborn, where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray that the Lama may have good health. I pray that the Lama may have a long life. I pray that your Dharma activities spread far and wide. I pray that I may not be separated from you. As Manjushri the warrior realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. By the blessings of the Buddha who attained the three kayas, by the blessings of the truth of the unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessings of the indivisible Sangha order, may the merit I bear bear fruit. By the virtues collected in the three times by myself and all beings, in samsara and nirvana, by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Rikumpa Ratnashri, who is the omniscient Lord of the Dharma, master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you, everyone. You have a wonderful day and see you soon between